when we take the 50 states and record the number of Boy Scouts in each state, so these are the 50 states in the United States, if we record the number of Boy Scouts in each state, and 10 years later, we record the number of men who commit crimes in each state, we find that states with a larger number of Boy Scouts also have a larger number of crimes committed. And those states with fewer Boy Scouts also have fewer crimes committed. What should we conclude from this? So do you understand what's happening? If we take the different states, if we take California and Vermont and Texas and etc., the different states, the states with more Boy Scouts, states with more Boy Scouts 10 years later have more criminals. This is a true fact, by the way. This is not being made up. This is the actual truth. If you go state by state, California, Vermont, Texas, etc., you'll find that the states that have more Boy Scouts, states with more Boy Scouts, 10 years later, they have more criminals. So, what does this mean? We need to close down the Boy Scouts because they're cranking out criminals? Well, let's think about what should we conclude from this? Because this is very important, because this is a mistake that is being made with statistics, because it sounds like the Boy Scouts are causing people to become criminals, right? Because see how somebody could present it that way? The states with more Boy Scouts, 10 years later, they got more criminals, so we know what that means. The Boy Scouts are cranking out criminals. Well, no, it doesn't mean that. Now, how not? How can the data be lying to us? Well, here's the deal. The answer to this question is the fact that association is not the same as causation. So let me just give you the answer right now and tell you why. Yes, Boy Scouts and criminals are associated. They're connected, but one's not causing the other. It's not the same as causation. Just because two things are connected doesn't necessarily mean one of them is causing the other. Well, what's going on in this situation? Let me just give you the secret answer right now. Population. Population is the hidden, what we call lurking variable. It's called the lurking variable, or it's confounding. It's called the confounding variable. It's confounding the study. It's wrecking it, making it seem like something it's not. It's confounding the situation. Why? What are we talking about here? What is going on in this situation is that population is driving both of them. In other words, like California has a much bigger population than Vermont. So California has more Boy Scouts, and of course they also have more criminals. They have more honest people, more dishonest people, more tall people, more short people, more rich people, more poor people, etc. California simply has more people. So yeah, they got more Boy Scouts, and yeah, they got more criminals. That doesn't mean Boy Scouts are causing criminals. Compared to Vermont, you say, well, yeah, Vermont's got less Boy Scouts and less criminals. Yeah, they got less of everything because they have a lower population. Do you see, Boy Scouts are not causing criminals. That's not right. Population, higher, oops, I'm not writing that very well here. Higher population is causing them both. Let me get rid of that. There we go. So yeah, so higher population is causing higher number of Boy Scouts right? There's more Boy Scouts in California, and there's also more criminals in California. There's more everything in California because there's more people. So Boy Scouts are not causing criminals. There's something lurking. Lurking means hiding. Population is the lurking variable, the hidden variable, the confounding variable that's causing them both. Population, higher population is causing both of those. These are not causing each other. So you have to be careful when you listen to statistics and people mention that two things are connected. Association, just because two things are associated, does not mean one of them is causing the other. You have to remember, association is not the same as causation. That's not the same thing. So you got to watch out for that. So how you might wonder, well, how do we determine if something is being caused? To determine that, you've got to do an experiment where you have a control group. You give a treatment to one group, the other group gets no treatment, they're called the control group, and then you see if there's different results. So we'd have to take 100 kids at random, have 50 of them become Boy Scouts, 50 of them not become Boy Scouts, and 10 to 20 years later, find out if there's more criminals in one group or the other. That's how you could test if Boy Scouts are cranking out criminals. You'd have to compare two groups. That's called an experiment. This is just an observation. We're just observing that the states that have more Boy Scouts have more criminals. This is just association. It's not causation.